Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
November is an ideal month to plant trees in Ohio because the soil is still warm, which reduces the transplant stress. Plus, trees require less water in November than in the heat of the summer, allowing roots to grow in the cooler temperatures. When planting trees, keep these tips in mind. Select trees that are zone hardy for where you plan to plant. Avoid planting trees that produce slip hazards like fruits and nuts close to sidewalks. And don't plant large trees near or under utility lines. To learn more about the November tree planting, contact an ISA-certified arborist near you by going to trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
This is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mosic.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into this week's Buckeye Roundtable Show as Ohio State takes care of Northwestern Saturday. 31-7 gets set for its third top five matchup of the regular season as unbeaten Indiana comes to town this week. All kinds of college football talk the next 2 hours with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro Jim Lachey. Great to see you.
Great to see you, Skip. Haven't seen you in a while.
Back from the friendly confines is Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
You mean this isn't a basketball game we're getting ready for?
That's tomorrow, Big Daddy. Hall of Fame coach, it is always a great night when we can talk football with former Ohio State head coach John Cooper. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me again. I always look forward to Monday nights.
Buckeye coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Again, Ohio State with the victory on Saturday. Northwestern was coming in off of a bye. How about their game plan and execution to start the game? Keep the ball away from Ohio State, milk the clock all you can. Any concern if you're Ohio State based on that game plan, Coach Cooper?
Best defense you can play is when you got the ball. Got the ball. All these teams, I think Jim and I talked about that earlier, all these teams have got 2 weeks to get ready for us. They got a good game plan. They come in here and keep the ball away from us. And we didn't get the ball back, about 2/3 of the first quarter, right?
Yep.
Something like that. Any concern moving forward with that sort of strategy from opponents?
Well, with the way that Indiana's played coming into this weekend, you would think probably not, but, this leopard might change its spots. But Northwestern, give them credit. They had a good plan that worked for a quarter.
No, it did. They took they huddled. They took the play clock down to under 5 seconds, and they converted on third downs. I mean, we had them 3rd and 13. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 1s. Yeah, you can say they got a good shot at converting it, but that 3rd and 13, the first one, got to find a way to get off the field there on third downs. And I think the defense understand that. But 11-play drive, then a 13-play drive. Ohio State had it once, took it all the way down there, and had to punt after the call was overturned. The touchdown call by Jeremiah Smith was overturned. And boom, the first quarter's over.
This is how Michigan won the national championship last year.
Right.
95 yards, 91 yards, keep the ball. The best defense you can play is when your offense is on the field.
Ohio State defense bent a little bit in that first half, but overall limited the Wildcats to 251, 4 sacks. The best thing about how they're playing on that side of the ball right now is
well, I think what you saw is they wore Northwestern down. They adapted to what Northwestern had done those first few possessions. Maybe, Skip, the best thing is that it's so many people that are doing so many things. We saw Sonny Styles kind of a somewhat breakout game. Certainly Jordan Hancock making big plays. Jack Sawyer forced that fumble that Igbenogson picked up. So I think it's become really a group effort by that defense.
They had 167 yards the first half, Indiana, 62 yards rushing on 18 carries. At the end of the game, they had 30 carries for 50 yards. So, we made adjustments in that second half, totally took them out of their game plan. Stopped the run, got after them, and they really couldn't get anything done. They had a lot of 3-and-outs. They, punted the ball, I think, 4 times in that ball game. They did get a drive there where we had to turn them over on downs, and they got a couple first downs there. But I thought our defense stepped up, and then the offense stepped on the gas. They would get it down, took advantage of that short field, with the block punt or I don't know. It was a blocked punt technically, but the snap went over his head, and after
it counts.
After the punter messed around with it a little bit, we got it right there at the 1.
I think one of the best things we've done is make adjustments.
Yeah.
I think we made halftime adjustments. Our coach. Sometimes these teams come in here and they run plays that we haven't seen, and sometimes we show them plays that they haven't seen. I think we've made great halftime adjustments. We scored 3 touchdowns a game a couple of weeks ago. We're running plays that we hadn't run all year, pitch the ball to running back, and there's nobody out there to make the tackle. I think we've made a great job communicating from our coaches in the press box and the coaches on the sideline.
Even though Northwestern was stacking the box at times defensively, all of Ohio State's running backs averaged more than 5 yards per carry. Travion nearly 7. I guess, guys, the importance of that running game and executing when the opponent is daring you to do so means what?
Well, it starts with the offensive line, and it shows that they can do what the defense expects them to do, and at least is attempting to try and stop. And let's not discount the fact, too, that they still, even though it wasn't a big factor in this game, they still have to be concerned about Will Howard running the ball. So that's always kind of in their minds.
And Will Howard just had 1 carry in the ball game after having 12 and then 10 and then, 12 against Penn State, only 10 against Purdue, where that's still a lot for a quarterback. They shut down the quarterback run. They didn't have him do that in this ball game and had other guys take over. But again, a tale of 2 halves. We had 55 yards the first half, 118 in the second.
All the games I've watched all week, college and pros, and trust me, I watch a lot of games. The running quarterback has won a lot of games.
We'll turn the page.
A lot of games.
We'll turn the page fairly quickly, get into Indiana next segment. But if someone had told you in July that Indiana would be coming here with a better record than Ohio State at this time of the year, your reaction would have been what?
What, is Coach Knight back again? Amazing to think about that. This is an Indiana team that in some recent years, offensively, when Kevin Wilson was there, you saw a lot of sizzle, but the defense struggled. Tom Allen had some good defensive teams, but they struggled offensively. What this team has done this year has caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, Coach Cignetti's brought in a lot of players, 16 new starters, 31 new transfer portal. He brought 13 from James Madison. He brought 6 assistant coaches from James Madison. So he's got his people there running his offense, his type of stuff, and he's got some players that are familiar with it, and they're doing a good job. So they're not thinking, they were successful last year at James Madison. They're just thinking, okay, this is maybe a step up, different jerseys, but we're still doing our thing.
The only game I've seen all year, all game, is the Nebraska game. I'm thinking, is this Indiana? I thought Nebraska was going to. You're talking about a great coaching job. I've already voted for this coach as National Coach of the Year, guys. That's what kind of job I think he's done so far this year. I don't think they got the talent we got, but I'm telling you, they are a well-coached football team.
Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Quick programming announcement for those in Columbus listening. On our flagship station, 97.1, The Fan will be breaking away at the bottom of the hour at 6:30 for Blue Jackets hockey. In Columbus, you can continue listening to the rest of the show on 1460 ESPN or our HD2 channel. Buckeye fans, you can turn every game into a home gate this season with help from your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Stock up on your favorites like brands from Pringles, Cheez-It, and Coca-Cola, or choose from delicious catering options. Giant Eagle is a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics. It's a top 5 matchup Saturday as Ohio State hosts Indiana. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State athletics.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. with local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs. Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
For 100 years, our passionate Atlas Butler has been helping people. From those who have relied on us for years to those who call us for the first time. For our team, their families, and our community, Atlas Butler is here to keep Central Ohio safe and comfortable with trusted, convenient service. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
Squeeze a few more about last Saturday in here. Homecoming of sorts, guys, for Carnell Tate this past weekend. 4 receptions, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. Coach Day told us last week how badly this football team wanted to do well for Tate in this game. How about that? Not just that, but the way he was able to contribute getting into the end zone a couple of times.
Amazing. And you think about what it does now for opposing defenses. You know about Emeka Ibuka. Everybody knows about Jeremiah Smith. We've all kind of known about Carnell Tate as well as Brandon Ennis. So it's just pick your poison for how you're going to try and stop the passing game. But wonderful to see this young man. And hearing Skip the fact that, you know, because he didn't finish high school in Chicago, he had not played a game in Chicago since his freshman year of high school. And we could see walking out to the team buses, all these family and friends that were around him. Great story.
No, it was. And those weren't easy catches. You know, that 25-yard catch that he had, the first touchdown, that was fabulous the way he was able to lay out there in the end zone and pull that in, and just to see all the guys on the sideline, you know, cheer him on, you know, and then the things he gets to, and then everybody's kind of going nuts for him. Feel good story, but here's a kid that's worked extremely hard. You know, he's coming here to Ohio State, got a chance to play a little bit last year as a freshman. Now he's just a sophomore. You got Jeremiah, who's a freshman, and then of course the older guy, Emeka Ibuka. But you're right, Paul. Brandon Ennis always adds a little touch to it and can make some plays out there. So they have some guys that can get it done, but it was good to see them get the opportunity, because usually, hey, we want to get you the ball. It doesn't always work that way, but it did in this game, and it was good to see.
Jeremiah Smith still had 100 yards receiving, Coach Cooper, even though he had the 1 touchdown wiped off the board.
Yeah, and they're probably doubling him.
yeah, they should.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Buckeye special teams, another blocked punt by definition. Jim Lachey, you touched on it last segment. Coach Cooper, you know how huge special teams play is, especially when you get to this point on the calendar.
If you go exactly, I know exactly what the team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins the game. That's why you see the head coach, and we've seen coach now over there working with special teams.
Yep.
You know, you got to get a good snap. You got to get a good hold. You got to get a good kick. You got to put the ball in the middle of the field if it's a field goal. But little things like that go unnoticed. How many games you watch over the weekend where a field goal wins a game or it loses a game? I saw a couple of them yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
No, it does. They are. And, you know, Coach Tressel always talked about superior special teams as one of his key goals each and every week, and that's the way it has to be. And you can tell by the guys that they're putting out to the return kicks, Travion Henderson, Caleb Downs returning punts, that they're itching to get one. Now, sometimes you just got to, you know, wave that hand, take the fair catch, because you're going to get it to 25 no matter what, you know, instead of taking it at the 15-yard line or 16, doing all that work, blocking, and, you know, coming up short of the 25. So, you know, I'm not taking that fair catch. There's nothing wrong with that to get it at the 25.
If we get a good kick, we're going to get a punt return for a touchdown in at least one game the rest of the year.
Let's do it.
Next up, Will Howard. Paul, 15 of 24, 247, a pair of touchdowns. Just a little on not only his day, but his decision-making.
Well, took good care of the football. That's the first item, Skip. But also, he showed the ability to throw the deep ball, which for some reason some people were questioning. He hasn't had to do it an awful lot. Just a day in which, we mentioned in the last segment, he didn't run as much as he had in the previous games, didn't need to. But he's really, what we saw in that game and what he's done in the previous weeks, but in that game Saturday, he did what he was brought here to do, and that's to get the ball to playmakers.
All right, next, rate the opponents. Wildcats at 4-6 at Michigan, home with Illinois. They need them both to become bowl eligible. Do they get them?
Last year they were 8-5, you know, and they were scrambling. Had a good year. They you know, David Braun in his first year, I think there was, you know, maybe people took them, you know, kind of like the old Northwestern, you know, kind of like the old Indiana. Well, they weren't. They found a way to get those wins and did it. This year, they haven't been as successful, and you know, a lot of that comes down to your quarterback play and all those type of things. Get it done. I still think they have some guys on defense, you know, that can make some plays, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough. They got to win these last two to become bowl eligible.
Can they win 2 games, Coach Cooper?
I think they will. I think they will. I think gotten a little bit better as the year goes on. Not a great team, but I think they'll try to out hit the people they play.
I'm not so
tough to beat Illinois, though. I think it's going to be tough to beat Illinois.
And it might be tough to beat Michigan in their last home game of the season.
We knew it would be challenging, but for what we do. Knew it would be challenging for what we do, but rate the venue. I guess from a fan's perspective, playing the game at Wrigley Field.
Boy, the three of us got to know one another really well, sitting in a booth, 3 people across, meant for 2. For the fans, it was fantastic. I mean, you looked out and you saw all the Ohio State fans in Wrigley Field. For what we do, let's hope we don't have to do that again.
No.
You could kind of tell at 8 o'clock when we pulled up to the stadium and, you know, walked around it, like, hey, I'm seeing a lot of scarlet, you know, and like, well, the purple will show up here, you know, once it gets close to the game time, but they really never did. It was, you know, 80%, I would say, Ohio State fans. And just to hear OHIO going around that stadium, it was pretty cool. Now, some of those seats weren't oriented for for you know, they're oriented for baseball.
You mean like ours?
Well, yeah. But the good thing about it,
have a seat.
The Jeremiah Smith catch that didn't count. It was right in front of us. It was right at home plate almost. So we got a chance to good look at that one.
All right, real quick on Indiana before we break. Hoosiers are unbeaten. We know that. We know their schedule isn't much, but they've rolled in most. Florida International, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, and Michigan. We all in agreement who their best victory so far has been against?
Their last game, Michigan. Although the one over Nebraska, because Nebraska had started playing a little bit better, I still think there was a lot of stock in them going to the Rose Bowl and beating UCLA. Now, the Bruins were not playing very well at that point, but going all the way across the country. But no, their best win, Skip, Michigan.
Yeah, that was really, Indiana was the only
toughest game.
Yeah.
And their toughest
was the only game early on that, you know, somebody that went 2 time zones or 3 time zones and ended up getting a victory. So that was impressive to see them, you know, travel out to Pasadena and play in the Rose Bowl and get the victory against UCLA. So they kind of showed up on my radar after that victory, and they just kept knocking people out, you know, weekend. And, you know, obviously that Nebraska October 19th game, you know, I remember that because it was a bye week for Ohio State, and I was listening to it in the radio heading up to Michigan State to watch the Hawkeyes play against the Spartans, and just hearing, you know, the excitement that those guys had, you know, Don Fisher's never been so happy calling a ball game as he did that game, and that hasn't, and that hasn't changed. He's been happy all year long. But then the Nebraska game was impressive too, you know, considering we played them the next week, and wasn't as easy for us.
That Nebraska game's the only game I've seen them play so far this year. I'm flipping channels on Saturday afternoon like I normally do, and hey, I'm going to watch Nebraska win this football game. Normally, Nebraska plays. Nebraska is going to beat Indiana.
Exactly.
Oh, are you kidding me? I could not believe it. Is this a bad Nebraska team or a great Indiana team?
Pretty good Indiana
I'm
team.
still trying to figure that out.
Programming announcement again for those in Columbus listening on our flagship station, 97.1 The Fan. Will be breaking away at 6:30 for Blue Jackets hockey in Columbus. You can listen to the rest of the show on 1460 ESPN or our HD2 channel. Everybody else across the state, just stay where you are. We'll break down this past weekend from around the Big Ten. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access.
To cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland.
Getting a mortgage? We take pride in providing the value and service you deserve in one of the most important transactions you'll ever have. Community banks have the most flexibility and the lowest rates. Now fact check that. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Toyota-thon is on. Our biggest event of the year is better than ever, with our biggest and best selection, including the best-selling Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time, with available all-wheel drive. Now through December 2nd, you can lease a Camry LE from just $269 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details, or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Again, we'll be breaking away here at the bottom of the hour. Coach Ryan Day will join us in about 10 minutes from now. If you want to listen to that, flip over to our AM station in Columbus, 1460 ESPN. Everybody else around the state, stay right where you're at. AEP Energy, Buckeye fans, say goodbye to Let's try that again. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates with a fixed price plan from AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Ferguson, H back inside left, back to Pro. Up, they gave it off. Handed the ball to James, running right, gets a block inside, 2-1, touchdown Jordan James. Terrence Ferguson blocking on the outside of the right. Jordan James, touchdown Ducks, and Oregon is a point away from tying it up.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Oregon gets a late season test in Madison, but they hold off Wisconsin 16-13.
You know, and this was a great opportunity for the Badgers to try and pull off a big signature win. And really what you noticed in watching this game was the deficiency they have at the quarterback position. Open passes, open receivers missed with passes. But also Wisconsin not having the breakaway running threat that we've seen for years, and I think that's what kind of led to the change when Coach Fickell decided to dismiss Phil Longo as his offensive coordinator yesterday. But this was there for the Badgers to get. Give Oregon credit. They did, and especially defensively, what they needed to do late in the game.
Yeah, they did. And, obviously one of those key parts of that drive was Gabriel getting it with his legs, picking up a first down there.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, no, it does. And that's, what he brings. I mean, he's got a little bit of everything. And, did you ever see his pants? I mean, they look like shorts with a couple pads in them. I mean, his knees are totally covered, and he feels comfortable doing that. But he can play some football. I mean, he's throwing the football. He's been really good. The tight window he got for that another pass, I think he threw it through about 3 different guys to get it to his receiver. The ability to run has all been impressive.
Coach Cooper, we know it's tough to play in Madison at night, no matter what the record is.
Tough to play. That's probably the second toughest place to play on the road. I think Penn State's probably the toughest, but I was really proud of Wisconsin. I thought Coach Fickell had a great game plan. I never felt like they're going to win the game, but I thought they played extremely well and made it a contest.
To West Lafayette, Purdue hosted Penn State.
3rd and goal at the 2, far hash, attacking the end zone to our right. Warren back in the game, splits to the near side, Fleming to the far side. Now they'll put the bunch set on the near side with Dinkins in there. And it's going to be Allen rolling right, throws to Allen, walks into the end zone, touchdown, Penn State. The Nittany Lions take the opening drive and go 75 yards. It is the 6th time in 10 games the Nittany Lions have taken their opening drive and scored.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network, Nittany Lions cruise past Purdue 49-10.
And Tyler Warren continues to be the guy that makes the big plays. And Ohio State was fortunate to limit the big plays he made. But also what Ohio State did that others have not done, and that is shut down their running game, and Purdue couldn't do it.
Yeah, 190 total yards for Tyler Warren, 127 receiving on 8 catches, and then ran the ball 3 times for 63 and got a TD. One of those was for 48 yards. He's an impressive football player. I mean,
thank goodness he didn't touch the ball against us.
Exactly. I mean, that was a blueprint on how to shut him down.
Penn State's the one team in this league that I would really look out for.
Next to Champaign, where Illinois welcomed in Michigan State.
Couple of tight ends to the right. 2nd and goal at the 4. Here is Allmeyer. Lob left. Franklin. Catch. Tumbling catch. He's got it. Touchdown.
Zachary Franklin with the touchdown. Brian Barnhart on Learfield. Illinois defeats Michigan State 38-16.
Luke Altmaier gets so much attention to quarterback. When you think about what Pat Bryant has done catching the ball and McCray as a running back, this is a good, not a great, but a good season for Illinois. They're going to get to a bowl game, and, they make an improvement of what they did a year ago, and Coach Bielema was doing what everybody thought he would do when he got there.
I think Aiden Childs is going to be a good quarterback
eventually,
once he gets through this year. I mean, he's a guy that can stand up, make some plays. He didn't turn the ball over, which was, good for him in that game. Had 2 touchdown passes and was their leading rusher. But I think in the future, he's just a sophomore. He's going to be a guy that, going to have to worry about.
Coach Cooper, 7 wins now for Illinois. We know they're going bowling.
I like that coach. I think he's a good football coach, and I didn't realize he was had that good a record. He's 7-3 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good, Coach Bielema.
Good coach.
To the Coliseum, 2 teams trying to become bowl eligible as USC hosted Nebraska.
3 tight ends are in on a 1st and goal at the 2. It's Mayava. Will keep it, and into the end zone he goes for a touchdown, USC. Jaden Mayava with 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown for the first-time starter for USC. The redshirt sophomore has given the Trojans a 7-point lead with the extra point to come.
Pete Arbogast, USC Radio. He alluded to it there. Trojans make the change at quarterback. They pull away to beat Nebraska 28-20.
This game should have gone on one play longer. If you saw the very last play of the game.
Gee, what did it remind you
Nebraska
of?
trying to get in to see how our minds think alike. Nebraska throwing the ball into the end zone. Their receiver gets undressed in the end zone, and it is not called. They should have had an untimed down at the end of the game. Possibly right there at the goal line with a chance to try and see if they could have gotten this game to overtime. However, as you said, Skip, the quarterback change worked well. Oh, there's no question it was almost assault and battery, let alone pass interference. But, USC makes a quarterback change and an impressive win for them.
Well, they brought in Dana Horgenson to be the coach, the new offensive coordinator, because they were only scoring 20 points a game. And guess what? They ended up with another 20 points. Nebraska's had 4 shots to become bowl eligible, and they've lost their last 4 straight. They're 5-1. Now they're 5-5.
You guys, if you're going to beat USC, you better get them this year. I coached in that league for 6 years, 7 years. USC will eventually have the best talent of anybody in the country. It's 40 million people live in that state, you guys know.
Yes.
Yeah. And you recruit against UCLA, Cal Berkeley, and Stanford.
To College Park next, where Maryland hosted Rutgers.
In goal at the 6, Kelly McManus hands it off. Monungai running left to the goal line. Touchdown. Kyle Monungai powers his way in for his second touchdown of the night, and Rutgers regains the lead.
Chris Carlin on Learfield. Rutgers pulls away in the second half to win at Maryland 31-17.
And huge to get Kyle Monungai back, Skip. And this is a football team that went through a losing streak there, and things weren't going well, but they held it together. Kalik Manis has been a great transfer coming from Minnesota. And just like we talked about with Illinois, Rutgers. I mean, think about this. The far east of the Big Ten, Rutgers, they're going to a bowl game.
Bowl eligible. Yep. And Maryland, they're still fighting for it. They're 4-6 and maybe have an opportunity in these last 2 games. It'll be awful tough for them, though. But, to see Roman Hemby, stepping up, making, running for 87 yards. He's been a guy that we've seen. Billy Edwards, their quarterback's been around for a while, but they got Iowa this week, so it's going to be a tough one.
Final stop, Seattle. Friday night, Washington hosted UCLA.
Coleman motions to the top of the formation. They'll check down a screen. Kalecki Latu leaps for the end zone. 2 arms up. Touchdown, Washington. Kalecki Latu's first touchdown is a Husky. In from 8 yards out, and the Dogs have a double-digit lead on UCLA late in the second quarter.
Tony Castricone on Learfield. 2 teams really trying to figure something out. Washington beats UCLA 31-19.
And the Bruins have been playing better football, but Washington gets that win. And, you know who they have that last weekend? They've got Oregon, the new Big Ten West Coast rivalry game. And, maybe they've got a little confidence before they take on the Ducks.
It could be raining for that game, too.
Yeah.
Could be.
Probably 100%
Anything
chance.
could happen, yeah.
UCLA not having the ability to run the football in that game, just 52 yards.
Yeah. Coming up this week, Purdue is at Michigan State on Friday. Saturday, Iowa at Maryland. Minnesota hosts Penn State. Northwestern at Michigan. Wisconsin is at Nebraska. USC, UCLA is Saturday night. Of course, the marquee game Saturday, Indiana at Ohio State. Third top 5 matchup of the season for the Buckeyes this year. Up next, we are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Ohio State and Indiana coming up on Saturday, 12 noon kickoff. Will be on the air from Ohio Stadium beginning at 10:30 a.m. Joined now for a couple of minutes by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, for the second straight week, you'll be facing a team coming in off of a bye. I guess, what's the hardest thing in getting off to a fast start in games like this when you're going up against a team knowing your opponent may have something to throw at you right out of the gates that they possibly haven't shown yet?
It doesn't really change how you approach things. You just have to, adapt when you see new things. And, defense, you got to defeat blocks and you got to run and hit, and that's what it comes down to. And then, you identify what's going on schematically, and they may get you with a couple things, but, great effort running to the football, defeating blocks and being physical. Certainly takes care of all that. And then obviously you identify what it is and you move on and make the adjustments.
Coach said, the middle 8 minutes, the last 4 of the second quarter and the first 4 of the third, you guys, deferred. So you didn't get the ball. You didn't get the ball much that whole first quarter, but then you got the 3 touchdowns there in the second quarter. And then you managed that clock perfectly to get that. And then knowing you're going to have the ball to start the third, they would take care. Just managing that whole situation there, I thought you guys did a great job with.
Well, yeah, it took us from 14-7 to 28-7 after that score coming out of the third quarter, like you said, and something we talk a lot about. And I thought a little bit about, taking the ball, but I just felt like, let's not change what we do because, I had a feeling that, they were going to have a couple of wrinkles and they did a nice job and, hit us on some third downs. We got to get off the field a little bit better, and they controlled that first quarter. But then I think we settled down a little bit better in the second quarter and got to stop. I think we spent a lot of time trying to figure out, when the right time to call timeouts is and handle that at the end of the first half. And then doing a great job of everybody understanding coming out in the third quarter. That's how you flip a game and steal a possession.
Coach, how about the way this offensive line is played in the current configuration and how being together in the formation they're in, how that has helped them develop their newfound chemistry?
Well, there's just a lot of communication that goes on, during practice, during the week, in meetings to make sure that everybody can handle what's going to happen that week. And then you may get into the game and get something that, you didn't expect. And, that kind of happened a little bit early on. We had a couple guys, run through on us. And, then we quickly made an adjustment there, and I thought we started to have some things up much better there in the second half. But part of that is just the preparation going in, but part of that is in-game adjustments and making sure that we're all on the same page.
Coach, I think you guys have done a great job, not a good job, but a great job making adjustments throughout the course of the game. I know you got coaches up in the press box, and you're on the sideline communicating with those guys. Getting up to Indiana, do they change much from week to week, or they're still running the same defense, the same offense, same plays, or do you expect to see something different against us this week?
Yeah, well, I think, on defense, they do a lot of things. They have a lot of fronts, a lot of coverages. They give a lot of different looks, but they've done a nice job of playing very hard and playing physical. On offense, they have their wrinkles. They have the things that they do, but they have their wrinkles on a weekly basis. And, they've had 2 weeks now to prepare and come up with a few of those wrinkles and work through them. So it'll be a little bit of both. I think.
Expect to see much man coverage?
Yeah, I think we'll get some man coverage. It's interesting to see, how many of the teams that we play decide to man our receivers because of, certainly the numbers game, but then also the matchup issue. So, they do play some man. We'll have to see once we get into it how much.
Coach, we saw the Buckeye fans show up in force at Wrigley, and, did you ever expect that you're going to take me out to the ball game at the end of the third quarter? And the OHIO, just that whole experience was just unbelievable. And, I know some of your family members got to travel too. Just a cool atmosphere there with all the Buckeye fans.
Yeah, really a great experience for our players and coaches, the fans, great experience for my wife and my son. And just, one of those things you remember, playing in Wrigley and seeing so many Buckeye fans enjoying the game, and just even seeing the fans up in the stands across the street and the bleachers up there on the rooftop. I mean, it was really neat to see. And we kind of took over the stadium, and it was pretty wild. And I think it certainly energized our players.
And as you've talked about, they're going to be needed this weekend, especially, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say this is a big weekend, for all of us, and it's a big weekend for our fans. This is a noon kickoff, and when they're loud, it makes a huge difference, and it's going to make a difference in this game. So, we're heading into the most important time of the year, and we got to be at our best, and I know the fans are going to be at their best, and this has got to be a hostile, angry environment. I mean, we got everything on the line this week. We want to get to Indianapolis, and we got to win this game, and so we're going to have an edgy week. We're going to be practicing with an edge, and we're going to be playing with an edge this week. And I know that when Buckeye Nation shows up in that stadium, they're going to have an edge about us. There's going to be an electricity in the stadium, and every time they have the ball, it's going to be loud, which gives our entire defense a huge advantage.
Yeah, Coach, we were talking off the air. I mean, this is the third top five matchup this season for Ohio State. We're going back, seeing if that's ever happened before. It's just unprecedented. At least you get this one at home.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's, for our fans to be, involved in a top five matchup. They've seen us play on the road twice, and some fans have been able to make that trip, but now we get to do this at home. And so let's make it a great weekend. Let's make it, the loudest, Ohio Stadium's ever been. And, and that's the way you want it in November. You want it all on the line. You want a top five matchup at home in November. Weather's changing, so it's perfect. And, so let's get in those seats early and let's get after it.
Buckeye Coach Ryan Day, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you tomorrow for your press conference and obviously for your radio show on Thursday, okay?
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate you.
All right. Coach's comments are presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. And I don't know that we've ever seen three top five matchups during the regular season.
There's a note that was passed along to us. This is the third time Ohio State's played two top five teams on the road in 1 year. 1960, Illinois and Iowa. 97 at Penn State and at Michigan. And then this year with the 2 road games. So I don't. You're right, Skip. We'd have to dig
For
deep.
3. Yeah.
3 in the regular season. It just doesn't see. Honestly, nothing personal against the Big Ten. I don't think the Big Ten's ever been as strong as it is this year.
I agree.
So when you take a look at that, there were good
4
teams.
in the top 5.
I got to disagree with that.
Okay.
In the mid-90s, are you kidding me?
As many Big Ten teams as we're seeing this year as far as in the top 5 in the country. All right, up next, we will hit the red zone. Tim May of Letterman Row will join the program as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
Where more than 1,700 scientists are working on new treatments and new hope for every form of cancer.
You're making the choice to have the most advanced treatments, many of which were developed right here.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new RAV4, America's best-selling SUV. Now through December 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 24 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes RAV4 Prime. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined inside the red zone, Tim May of Letterman Row. Tim, Ohio State and Indiana coming up on Saturday. IU's schedule is what it is, but there's no denying what they've been able to accomplish so far this season. As someone who's seen so much college football over the years like you have, the most impressive thing you've seen from the Hoosiers to date has been what?
How disciplined they've been, how I don't know, on point they've been as far as like both executing both their offense and defense. Now, that took a little bit of a slide against Michigan, obviously, from the executing the offense aspect of things. But this is an extremely well-coached football team. And as I like to say, you know, Kurt Cignetti didn't just show up with his hand out. He showed up with a plan, you know, and brought coaches with him, brought players with him from James Madison. And FB just had barely moved up to FDS before he showed up. But it just shows if you've got guys understand the plan and play well together, you can still have a really good football team in this age. And that's exactly what Indiana did. And the other thing it's showing to all these other schools out there who maybe haven't done what Indiana has done or come close, yes, there's no excuses. Because if you can do it in Indiana, what he's done, you can do it anywhere.
No, I agree with that, Tim. And, you know, he's really done a fantastic job coaching those guys up and getting the type of players he needs to fit his system. Ohio State, though, Jeremiah Smith, I think he asked you this 5 weeks ago, comparing him to some of the greats, but, he's just been on a tear since then. He's got 7 100-yard games. I mean, he's got a really good chance to be over 1,000 yards. It's hard to compare him to anybody else anymore. He's kind of a one of one.
Yeah, he's like, everybody keeps asking me, who's the better receiver, you've seen. And, Chris Carter is about as good as it gets. Terry Glenn for a year was about as good as it gets. I can name you 15 guys. Jeremiah Smith is his own niche. I mean, almost all those guys were different. You can ask Coach Cooper about that, but they all delivered in some form or fashion. What stands out to me, though, as a freshman, is just how accountable he's been from one week to the next and playing at a high level, which was unfortunate to see that Northwestern guy grab his leg at the end of that play, that long play on Saturday, and give it a twist, and he definitely did, and we'll see if anything comes of that. But what was more outstanding was Jeremiah Smith went to the bench, did not go to the tent, went and sat down, had his left ankle retaped. The next thing you know, he was back out there. That just shows you a lot about him, no matter how many catches and touchdowns he's had.
Was Saturday quietly some of the best we've seen from Will Howard, Tim?
Yeah, man. I just read something on Twitter that kind of galls me a little bit. Some guy just knocking him. He hadn't been the player they thought he was going to be, and I'm just going, "What are you kidding me?" I mean, there are all kinds of parameters you can look at and see where Will Howard has really stepped up this year, even compared to what he had been at Kansas State. But he's passing at a very high level. You guys were there on Saturday, like I was, sitting in the baseball press box. It was kind of a different view of some of those passes, right? And he dropped some dimes in there. And then that pass to Jeremiah Smith over the middle, that was a window that was closing fast. And it was a great ball across the middle in a great window that Jeremiah Smith showed concentration to pull in and have their biggest play of the game as far as yardage goes. But, yes, Will Howard, and this is what stands out about Saturday. Maybe somebody's going to ask me about this, but I was impressed by the way they ran the ball, because they kept running the ball even though they weren't having a lot of success early, and they kept running and ended up with, 175 yards rushing. That team was giving up only like 92 or something a game going into that, and they did it without Will Howard running. He only had one carry, a little tush-push that didn't get the first down, if you remember correctly. That was the only time he carried the ball. He'd been averaged, 7 or 8 carries a game the last several games. So it was very impressive the way offensive line started pushing those guys around finally. The big challenge is this week because Indiana happens to have the number 1 rush defense in the country.
The thing I like most about Howard, he's a leader of this football team. He's a hard worker. He practices. He's one of the first guys on the practice field. Practices hard.
Yep.
I think he's gotten better as the season goes on. He doesn't make mistakes. He's accurate. He throws the football. And I think he could run the ball more than we're letting him right now. I think you can see him running the ball more the season goes on. But I think the best thing about him, he's a good athlete, tough, hard to bring down. But the best thing he does is he's the leader of this football team.
Yeah, he's this Coach Cooper, you've been around him a little bit. He's a quality person. I mean, he's a quality young man. He's you can ask Jim and Paul there. He's great, and Skip, he's great to talk to. I mean, he just has good answers to things, has insightful answers. He doesn't just give you the old hockey answers to questions. He really tries to give you something from a media standpoint. And I think, his best football is still ahead of him too, maybe even this season, because these next two games, man, wow. But yes, you're right. I mean, he's improved definitely as a passer. When you're completing like 78-80% of your passes, you're doing a pretty damn good job.
Tim May, Letterman Road. Tim, we always appreciate your time and your insight. We'll see you up there on Saturday, okay?
It's always a pleasure being on with you guys, but especially when Coach Cooper's on there. How you like the way I spun that?
Always, especially when Coach Cooper's on here with us. Every other week, we love it. Tim May, thanks, bud. We appreciate your time. Up next, hour number 2 of our Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award. Week 13 of the high school football season now in the books. Our American Dairy Association Mideast top high school performances. And our whip around the state. We'll hit the sidelines. Matt Andrews postgame. Our insiders access tonight. Bill Rabinowitz of the Columbus Dispatch. All that and more coming up hour number 2 of tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Get ready, Buckeye fans. Donato's just added something special to the pizza playbook. Introducing Donato's new Block O pizza. Donato's golden thin crust cut in that trademark Block O shape, loaded with crispy pepperoni, smoked provolone cheese, and Buckeye Spirit. It's the perfect pizza for game day or any day in Buckeye country. Now get a Block O pizza for just $10 with any pizza purchase. Order today with the Donato's app or at donatos.com.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Time for a halftime snack? Up your hosting game with Bob's Discount Furniture. Bob's has plenty of stylish, feature-packed bar carts, coffee tables, dining sets, even seating with drop-down drink tables for those times when you just can't miss a play. And best of all, you can find everything at Bob's everyday low prices. So stop by and score big when you shop Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Broadcasting live from the Great Lakes Kia Studios. This is WBNS, WBNS HD2 Columbus, ESPN Columbus.
The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Another hour of Buckeye Talk coming at you as Roundtable will continue. The Ohio State football team remains at second in the AP poll. 9-1 is their mark, and they got a huge top 5 matchup coming up Saturday at the Shoe. Noon kick. They're all at noon against Indiana. Hoosiers coach Curt Cignetti, he inked a big contract extension to stay with the team last week, an 8-year extension with an annual average salary of $8 million. Finishing up week 11 of the NFL season tonight with Monday Night Football, it is C.J. Stroud and the Texans at the struggling Cowboys. 8:15 kickoff in Dallas. Coverage is coming up right here at 8 o'clock. NFL news, the Giants have seen enough of Daniel Jones. He has been heavily demoted all the way to third string. Tommy DeVito's the guy again. Drew Lock will back him up. Jackets getting ready to start against the Bruins. That's at 7 over on the Fan. NBA, big one for the Cavs tomorrow at the Celtics. Breaking sports news on ESPN Columbus.
Toyotathon is on, the perfect time to shop for a new SUV. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through December 2nd, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 5.99 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models, with $1,657 per thousand borrowed. Subject to approved credit through TFS. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And welcome back, everybody, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, and with us tonight. You know it's a good night when Coach Cooper's here. I'm Skip Mosic. Saturday, Ohio State hosts Indiana. More on that coming up, but right now it is time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is sophomore running back Nolan Burley from Big Walnut High School here in Central Ohio. Friday night, Burley had 26 carries, 317 yards, and all 4 of his team's touchdowns as Big Walnut knocked off previously unbeaten Ashland 28-10. The Golden Eagles are coached by Curtis Krager. They're 12-1 and will face 10-2 Massillon in the D2 Region 7 final Friday night in Mansfield. Again, congratulations to Nolan Burley from Big Walnut High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
Fun time of the season, week 13. We've hit the regional finals right now. Like I'm just talking off the air, Jim. Right now, everybody's good. And means some great performances.
Yeah, they're down to the final 8. But, yeah, I got one here. Meta running back Jackson Farley had 25 carries for 169 yards and a touchdown, leading Mentor past Canton McKinley Bulldogs 31-0.
Cincinnati Moeller quarterback Mac Ponatowski threw for 315 yards and 4 touchdowns as Moeller beat Princeton 28-10.
I got a running back from Bishop Watterson, Zach Weber. He had 22 carries, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. Watterson beat Licking Valley 30-0, 30-0.
Cincinnati Taft running back, defensive back Aaron Dowdell had a 53-yard pick six on defense and also ran for a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on offense as Taft beat Indian Hill 30-14.
Olentangy Liberty wide receiver and defensive back Ben Godwin had 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown and added an interception on defense as Liberty beat Upper Arlington 17-13.
Cincinnati Anderson running back Darrell Turner, 22 carries, guys, for 263 yards, 4 touchdowns. Anderson's 42-0 win over Mount Healthy.
Massillon kick returner Tyler Hackenbrack had 2 punt returns for touchdowns, a 50-yarder and an 80-yarder, and also had a 100-yard kickoff return for a score in Massillon's 48-14 win over Taze Valley.
Don't kick it to him.
Yeah, really.
Kick it out of bounds.
St. Edward's defensive tackle Colin Crocker had a strip sack and an interception, helping lead St. Edward's to a 40-22 win over Perrysburg.
I got another running back here, guys. St. X running back Daniel Vollimer, 22 carries for 110 yards and a touchdown. St. X beat Lakota West 16-13.
How about these hogs, or maybe I'll call them piglets since they're still in high school? The Walsh Jesuit offensive line, Cody Kish, Colton Crosley, Matthew DeCiccio, Braden Pearsall, and Luca Jarris plowed the way for Walsh Jesuit to have 44 carries for 429 yards and 5 rushing TDs in their 42-28 win over Austintown Fitch.
It's shocking that you picked that one.
Yeah,
shocking.
Really.
Good job by this guy. Great job.
Fantastic. Hoban running back Brayton Feaster, 26 carries, 290 yards, and 5 touchdowns as Hoban beat Nordonia 48-13.
I got a quarterback here, guys. Avon quarterback Nolan Good ran 6 times for 102 yards, a pair of touchdowns. It was 16 out of 22 for 171 yards. And another score is Avon advanced, beating Wadsworth 41-10.
Running and passing. All right, time for our weekly whip around the state. We'll begin in Northwest Ohio. A couple of good nights on both sides of the ball as we hear from WNDH's Dave Kleck.
The Liberty Center Tigers are roaring into the regional final with a big win over Oak Harbor. Leading the way, Waylon Wrench with 114 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. He added 8 tackles on defense. And Cam Colley made his 7th interception of the year as part of the defensive effort for the Tigers. Patrick Henry had 2 100-yard rushers in their regional win over Hopewell Loudon. Lincoln Kreger with 144 on the ground and accounted for 4 touchdowns. Cal Schrader added 122 on the ground and had a TD catch, plus Jaden Punches with 2 picks on defense. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
Big games there. Huge game on the ground as we head just south of there and check in with WIMA's Todd Walker.
Quite a night for Columbus Grove senior running back Trent Barraza Friday night in a 35-13 win over Mohawk. Barraza's final carry of the night was a 15-yard touchdown in the 4th quarter. It gave him 29 carries for 287 yards and 5 touchdowns. The 5 TDs tied a single-game school record, and he became the school's all-time leading rusher, now with 6,139 yards. The Bulldogs look to win the regional final this Friday night when they take on Delphos St. John's at Spartan Stadium in Lima. Reporting for 1150 WIMA in Lima, this is Todd Walker.
All right, Todd, down to the Dayton area, a very efficient night through the air as we welcome in WING's Justin Kinner.
The Centerville Elks punched their ticket to this weekend's regional final thanks to a huge win over Dublin Kaufman this past Friday night, 42-7. Centerville Elks quarterback Shane Cole had a perfect night. He completed all 11 of his pass attempts for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. The 230 yards on 11 of 11 passing is a career high for the star junior quarterback. Next up for Shane Cole and the Elks, well, it's a familiar foe. They'll be taking on GWOC rival the Wayne Warriors in the regional final coming up this Friday night. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
To Southern Ohio, you know, some people say too many teams make the playoffs. Don't tell that to Wheelersburg as we say hello to WNXT's Mark Williams.
The Wheelersburg Pirates, as a number 14 seed, are playing for a Division V Region 19 championship after a 30-14 victory over West Muskingum in the semifinal round last Friday night at Joe Burrows Stadium in the Plains. Junior running back Elijah Brown rushed for 94 yards and 2 TDs on 22 carries. The defense held West Muskingum to 95 yards rushing and produced 5 sacks in shutting down the potent Tornado offense. It's a rematch with Ironton on Friday in the Region 19 championship game. Ironton won the regular season matchup 37-7 in Week 1. Mark Williams, WNXT Radio, Portsmouth.
At Circle North, really impressive nights on both sides of the ball from a Knox County power, as we hear from WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
The Danville Blue Devils are back in a familiar place, the regional final, after a dominating 46-6 win over Miller on Friday night in the regional semifinals in Division 7, Region 27. Freshman Siren Wallace had 293 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in the win for Danville. Meanwhile, senior Caleb Lucas had 10 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 sack, and broke the Danville single-season tackles for loss record with 28. Senior Josh Byers had 18 tackles in the win for Danville as well. Danville takes on Beaver Eastern at Logan Chieftain Stadium this Friday night in a regional final. Reporting from WQIO and WMVO, Adam Alberta, I'm Tyler Mathias.
The circle back around. It's almost like spirographs. You circle back around. A couple of big nights from some Logan County teams. Here's WPKO's Chad Wilkinson.
It was a great night for our local football teams Friday night as 2 teams advanced to the regional final. First, the Indian Lake Lakers shut down the number 1 Greenview Rams 28-13. Quarterback Madden Lillard threw 3 touchdowns, 2 to Quest Clay and 1 to Brody Reisinger, as the Lakers advanced to the regional final for the first time in school history. And they will face another local team here, the West Liberty Salem Tigers. They beat Waynesville 45-42. Quarterback Nick Shiflett had 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown. Jack Bayhan returned a kickoff 90 yards for a score, his second of the postseason. The 2 schools are only separated by 20 miles, and they'll meet this Friday night in the Division 5 Region 20 final at Piqua High School. For 98.3 WPKO in Bellefontaine, I'm Chad Wilkinson.
Chad Wilkinson knows what spirograph is. He got that all along. It was a great whip around the state, fellas. Thank you so much. Home teams, Grandview, we know, is still going strong. They get Northmore?
Yeah, they beat Fort Fry 27-0. Very impressive victory for those guys.
Moeller, very impressive. Speaking of which, they get St. X.
Play St. Xavier after they knocked off Princeton this past weekend.
Will there be a dog on the sidelines, on the opposing sidelines, or no?
I'm not going there.
Yes. Upper Arlington comes Cooper fell to Olentangy Liberty. Nice run for Upper Arlington all season long.
They had a great team and lost to a very, very, very good football team, 17-13.
Hartley ousted in Week 1. Watterson representing the CCL. They get Steubenville this week. But how about the MAC, Jim? I want to say 5 teams still going from the MAC.
Yeah, Marion local plays Minster. They're separated by about 5 or 6 miles. They play at Wapakoneta. You look at Coldwater playing Anna. They're both those teams are in the MAC. But how about Delphus St. John? They're a 15 seed, and they're still alive. They were 3-7. Now they're 6-7.
That's what I'm saying. Some people say too many teams. Like, come on.
Yeah, playing a 13-0 Columbus Grove team at Lima Spartan Stadium. So pretty impressive to see what those guys have been able to come up with. But, yeah, some of those teams are going to fall. Obviously,
well, they play each other. Yeah, there'll be at least 2, maybe 3 advanced.
Yep, there could be.
Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder that chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein to fuel everyone, including Ohio State offensive lineman Donovan Jackson. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com/builtlikeabuckeye to learn more. Some more craziness in the top 25 we'll discuss after further review as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Toyota Thon is on. The perfect time to save on a new Toyota truck. Now through December 2nd, get 1.99 APR financing on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR5 double cab for $279 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds trucks better than Toyota. Let's go places.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind or grab a carryout. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. We're presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. The Foundation is operating a 50-50 raffle at each Ohio State home football game this season, with proceeds supporting community-based NIL opportunities and The Foundation charities. For more information on how you can participate, visit OSU5050.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
On the Tennessee 10-yard line, two receivers left, two in tight to the right. Ball's on the near hash. We're moving to the right. Beck has time to throw, gets a block in the backfield, going to take it and run. 10, 5, 3, touchdown, Beck.
Scott Howard on Learfield, Georgia, in a must-win game, takes care of Tennessee Saturday night, 31-17.
They did, and Carson Beck, who had been struggling with interceptions, playing kind of like everybody thought he would be when the season started, when most people thought he was the Heisman favorite.
Yeah, came back, had that rushing touchdown you just heard there, passed for two. Really a good comeback victory after a tough game last week.
Threw that one pass down the middle, about as good as you're going to see.
Crazy to think how the SEC championship game may play out. Still lots to be decided.
Oh, yeah.
And then with the CFP, based on the champion, how many SEC teams are going to get in? I mean, you have a whole bunch of two-lossers.
Absolutely, and there's still people who think a three-loss SEC team might have a chance.
Well, one we know that controls its own destiny is Texas. Saturday, the Longhorns were at Arkansas.
Ewers from the shotgun, has the snap, looks right, pumps. Now look at, he got a man wide open in the end zone. Easy catch. Matt Golden, touchdown Texas. There wasn't anyone within 15 yards of it. And Golden has it a 20-yard catch. Matt's seventh touchdown of the season.
Craig Way on Learfield, Texas. A big win on the road at Arkansas, 20-10.
You know, and they just keep continuing to do what they need to do after that disappointment against Georgia. And, you know, what could end up adding to some of this craziness, Skip, that you talked about, if not mistaken, Texas finishes the year at night against Texas A&M the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So what kind of craziness the SEC is going to have to deal with?
Yeah, Quinn Ewers is back. He's healthy. He's playing some good football. Had a couple touchdowns in that ball game there. Not as much with his feet, but still, you know, doing some good things.
You know, Coach Cooper, I mean, it's a lot of teams. It's the old saying of 7 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. I mean, there's only so many you can squeeze in there.
I like Texas, but I'm telling you right now, Texas A&M
They're playing good.
That's a loud stadium. You're talking about a loud stadium.
To the Big 12, could BYU stay unbeaten as they played host to Kansas?
Daniels in the pistol, takes the snap, gives to Neal, weaves his way to the goal line. Touchdown, Kansas. Touchdown, Devin Neal. The Kansas Jayhawks surge in front with 13:19 to play.
Brian Haney on Learfield. This is back-to-back huge upsets for Kansas. They hand BYU their first loss, 17-13.
You know, and after what had been a disappointing beginning of the season for Kansas, they're one, while they maybe, we don't think they have a chance to get into the Big 12 championship, but they could
Nobody
have
wants to play them.
But that's the thing, Skip. They could have a big hand in deciding who does play for it.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas only had 240-some yards of total offense. It's amazing that they were able to win that ball game, but 17-13 means your defense is getting things done, and BYU's been playing with fire, and they finally got burnt.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Staying in the Big 12, Colorado has been on a run. Could they keep it going against Utah?
Bolmeister gets it away. Let's see if LeJounte's got a chance, and he does from the 24. Straight ahead, big hole, running at the 40, 45, 50, cuts off to his left. There he goes, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Colorado! 76 yards, LeJounte Wester. And when this game's over, I'm going to Vegas.
Mark Johnson on Learfield. Buffalo's roll, 49-24.
You know, I think it's probably surprising that they're playing all around as well as they are. Remember last year, their line of scrimmage on both sides was what was their undoing, but nobody's ever doubted how good Travis Hunter is. Shedeur Sanders obviously playing very, very well. This is a team that could find themselves in the playoffs.
What's happened to Utah, though, for goodness sake?
Quarterbacks.
Injuries.
I mean, they're 1-6 in the Big 12, and the Big 12's not very good.
No, they're 4-6, and they got to win these next two just to be bowl eligible.
But they'll get Cam Rising back for his 9th year next year.
To the Mountain West, number 13, Boise State was at San Jose State.
2nd and goal from the 4. Handoff, Jetty, and Jetty into the end zone. Jetty with another 3-touchdown game, and Boise State leads by 2 scores, 34-21.
Bob Baylor on Learfield. Boise State keeps cruising along. They win at San Jose State, 42-21.
That young man will be in New York for the Heisman, but this was a game that San Jose State had a lead in shortly before halftime, so Boise had a little bit of resistance there, and they dealt with it very impressively.
Is the running back that good? You guys seen him?
I think so.
Yes,
Not a lot, but it seems to be, yes.
32 carries, 159 yards. They're working him. I mean,
he's got something left over.
Yeah, there won't be nothing left.
To the American, Tulane is unbeaten in conference. Could it stay that way as they played at Navy?
On 3rd and 11. Navy showing blitz off the edge. Snap comes. Blitz does not come. And it's Hughes taking the carry. Bouncing right. Sheds a tackle down the sideline to the 5. Tiptoeing inside the pylon. Touchdown, Mekhi Hughes.
Corey Glore on Learfield. Tulane improves to 7-0 in the American. They win at Navy, 35-0.
Boy, the balloons seemed to really burst for Navy when they lost that game to Notre Dame and to spiral out. But, remember Tulane, brand new head coach now after Willie Fritz left, and this is a program really in the last 3 years that's played at a very good level.
They had a couple 3-and-outs to Tulane to start that ball game, and then they went on some scoring drives. Very impressive to see what they're doing there at Tulane. And, like I said, Navy was one of those teams that was undefeated at one point.
Bodie doesn't want to hear this.
Better give that coach a long-term contract.
Yeah, really.
Bodie does not want to hear this. If Army wins out, which means they would beat Notre Dame, but if they win out, we already know that they and Tulane are in the American Conference Championship game. We already know that. But if they're unbeaten and they have to go – they play the Navy game the week after everyone assumes that the CFP rankings are going to come out? Or are we all in a state of just chaos and wait and see? Because it
very well could be.
Have an outcome. To the ACC, could number 14 SMU keep it going against Boston College?
Jennings has L.J. Johnson in the backfield, and they're going to pitch it on a pop pass. Keyshawn Smith turns upfield, and he breaks a tackle, and he scores! He was about to be wrapped up at the 4. He broke out of it, and he seals the deal. A 5-yard touchdown on a pop pass to Keyshawn Smith, and SMU's made it 37-28 with 8 seconds left.
Rich Phillips on Learfield. SMU wins again, taking care of Boston College, 38-28.
And Jennings has been impressive at quarterback. Skip, I believe I heard somewhere that SMU in this whole migration into the Big 12, that they kind of paid their own way, or at least they kind of financially did not get the benefit that everybody else does. So
the ACC, yeah.
The ACC. I'm sorry, yes. You got it's hard to keep track of who's where. But,
exactly.
But yeah,
they're paying
but the point is still valid.
They're basically they're paying their own tuition.
They're not getting
they're not getting any benefit.
No cut.
Yeah.
No cut from the ACC. I don't know how many years that is, but good investment there for the oil money there.
They got a lot of money down there. Don't they?
Yes, they do. That's what we hear,
I think
Coach.
they used to pay their players a little bit.
That's why they had the death penalty.
Pony Express.
It's all legal now. Staying in the ACC, Clemson still trying to stay in the mix as they played at Pitt.
The blitz. And they are bringing the blitz, and Klubnik will run with it. Up the middle he goes, crosses the 40, 35, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Cade Klubnik with a minute 16 left. Klubnik takes it to the house, and Clemson regains the lead, 23-20.
Don Munson, Clemson Network, they hand Pitt their third straight loss, 24-20.
After such a great start to the season for Pitt, and maybe a month ago, people wanted to bury Clemson?
Yeah,
wanted to bury Dabo?
They still need help to make it to the championship game.
Yeah, they need help, but they're better than where they were a month ago.
Did you see Dabo? Do you see him sprint down the field after the game?
Yeah, he sprints everywhere. With 2 losses, though, will they still, if they don't make it, get in? I mean, that's
probably not.
It's tough for the ACC. They were in a different conference, maybe. I don't know. Final stop, just because it was a wild ending as Stanford hosted Louisville. Looked like it was going to go to overtime, but it came down to a field goal attempt for Stanford.
Kenny exhales, puts his head down. The snap, the spot,
Long
the
enough.
kick, away, doesn't have enough. Good! Can he kick it? Yes, he can!
Troy Clardy on Learfield, Louisville with 20 yards of penalties with 1 second left to set that up. Stanford wins 38-35.
And were those back-to-back penalties too,
Yes,
Skip?
yes.
Wow.
A kid stomped on somebody out of bounds. I mean, there's 1 second left. After Louisville had gone for it on like 4th and whatever, trying to thinking the time was just going to run out or they would get a chance to get in field goal range, didn't work out. And then Stanford a quick out, an unsportsmanlike penalty, then an offsides on the first field goal attempt, and you had 20 yards to it, and that's the difference in the ballgame.
And it still was, a 50-some yard field goal?
52.
53? Yeah, 52.
Yeah, and Jeff Brom said, hey, we did a lot of silly things through this ball game, but, really one at the end of the game, just the entire game. They had a lot of penalties in that game, and it ended up costing them there at the end. But, yeah, when you give them 20 yards and get them in field goal range, 57 is a lot different than 52. And, I think the coach went up and goes, hey, can you make it? He goes, I'm going to nail it. And then he did.
Team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins the game.
Yep.
I've heard that before from Coach Cooper. I don't know. Maybe for 30 years. I don't know. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Up next, we will hit the sidelines. Matt Andrews will join the program as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say. Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Growing up in the family business, I've seen firsthand the joy and love that comes with finding the perfect engagement ring.
For over 77 years, our family's been dedicated to providing the best quality, unmatched selection, and the guaranteed best price. From timeless classics to custom designs, we have the perfect ring for every love story. Let our family help you celebrate the moments that mean the most. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Salmo Road or at Easton Town Center.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. I remember seeing that CareSource heart around town and just knowing they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. And that means the world to so many children today. My name is Cardale Jones, and I was a CareSource kid.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is Ohio State head football coach Ryan Day, asking you to help provide 2 million meals to feed our community. Just round up at the register today. Every dollar provides 10 meals for neighbors in need. Get in the game and let's tackle hunger.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mosic. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board. Book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Real quick, Jim, talk a little defense tonight. 4 sacks and a block punt. Pretty stout for those guys in there for Ohio State after kind of a shaky start to get that game underway Saturday there at Ricky.
Yeah, those first 2 drives, there was nothing. I mean, we weren't covering well. We weren't rushing well. We weren't stopping to run. You know, the quarterback run, he picked up with his legs. But they made adjustments, across the board. I thought you saw Sonny Styles probably play his best game. He had 2 of the 4 sacks. Jack Sawyer, I thought he was all over it. 3 quarterback hits in that game, 7 tackles. He really did well. Cody Simon went over 200 tackles now for his career. He's got 202. And, those linebackers very underrated on this defense, but they've been kind of the glue keeping that front end and the defensive line intact.
Our 2 Deep Report was presented by Elk and Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
Ohio State 31, Northwestern 7 as we hit the sidelines one final time from Chicago after Ohio State defeated Northwestern 31-7. Matt Andrews postgame with defensive end Jack Sawyer and the kid from Chicago, wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Your return to Chicago, what a homecoming it was for you. What are your emotions and thoughts right now postgame?
It was a lot for me. My emotions are high and stuff like that, being back home for the first time since my freshman year, and especially getting to play in front of all my city. And it meant a lot to me playing in front of my city and also my family. So many my family members got to make it.
How many people did you have here for you today?
Oh, I had at least 30 people here, stuff like that. I tried to get as many tickets as possible, but they still was finding ways to buy tickets and stuff come like that. So I don't really have an ideal number, but it's at least 30.
What can you say about the way your quarterback, Will Howard, continues to play?
He's a great guy. It's a blessing to have him and stuff like that. Whenever stuff gets ugly, he's the first one to take blame for it and stuff like that. He's able to make plays.
Focus as you guys go forward, the final couple of regular season games. What's it going to take for this team to finish it off?
I'm just going to take out this playing with Buckeye football and stuff like that. We got to have a complete game as an offense and a complete game as a defense.
Congrats, Carnell. Thanks.
Thank you.
We're outside the Buckeye locker room here at Wrigley Field with Jack Sawyer. Congratulations on the win. What was it like playing here and winning as you guys did?
It was awesome. I talked to my grandpa earlier in the week. He's a huge baseball guy, and he said it's a historical ballpark, which I knew, and it was really cool to come to see him in person and play here. It was awesome.
What changed defensively for this team in the second half, Jack?
Yeah, I just think we tightened up some stuff that we were a little loose on early in the game, and Northwestern's a good football team, and we had we knew we had to tighten some stuff up and play a little more sound in the back end and up front as well. So I think we just fixed those little adjustments we needed to make.
You think this defense is hitting the stride here down the stretch? You led the team with 7 tackles, but I mean November's halfway over right now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. We only got 2 more games left, and in the shoe at least. Before playoffs and Big Ten, so it's going by quick. We just want to enjoy it. We just thank God for this opportunity to play this game.
Have you thought about Indiana at all yet?
Yeah, I think that once the clock struck 0, we thought about Indiana. They're a great team and they're winning and they got a lot of momentum right now. So we know it's going to be a tough battle on the shoe next week.
Thanks for your time, Jack.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Coach Cooper, we touched on this a moment ago. That Buckeye defense, 4 sacks and a block punt. It's going to be a special day when you can put up numbers like that.
You got to force those turnovers. I say our defensive end that jumped up and knocked the ball down, that saved a touchdown.
Sonny Styles, they got it.
Sonny Styles.
Yep.
Up next, again, more on Ohio State and Indiana coming up on Saturday, 12 noon kickoff at Ohio Stadium. Our Insider's Access, Bill Rabinowitz of the Columbus Dispatch, will join us as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Hey, Buckeye fans, Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
We have acres of brand new Chevys, Chryslers, Jeeps, Dodges, and Ram vehicles, as well as used cars and trucks that you're looking for at the Jeff Weiler Columbus Auto Mall in Canal Winchester. And if we don't have what you're looking for, we can find it at one of our 23 other locations. So come shop the lot or view over 2,000 cars right at your fingertips at JeffWeilerColumbusAutomall.com. Plus, use Weiler Direct to see monthly payments, value your trade, and get pre-approved. Rooted in family, driven by you.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. Tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show is presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye Roundtable is brought to you in part by Encova Insurance. Encova, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by Bill Rabinowitz of the Columbus Dispatch. Ohio State and Indiana coming up Saturday, a top 5 matchup at the Horseshoe. And Bill, we talked last week. If someone had said in July that come this week, Indiana would have a better record than Ohio State, your reaction would have been what?
What happened? Yeah, either something very good happened for Indiana, or something very bad happened for Ohio State, or that Indiana be 10-0 and Michigan be 5-5 or whatever they are. I mean, that's amazing.
It really is. And when you think about the transfer portal, and obviously that's what's had a big influence for Indiana doing what they do, can you look at how, especially with some of the easy names to pick out for Ohio State, how influential it's been at those crucial spots, Bill?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at where would Ohio State be without Will Howard, without Caleb Downs, without Quinshon Judkins, without Seth McLaughlin, who maybe, he's gotten overlooked in terms of how important he's been. But yeah, those 4 transfers have all panned out for Ohio State. They've been instrumental, and obviously Indiana's even gone further in terms of rehauling their roster with the James Madison guys that came with Signetti.
Bill, you look at what Travion Henderson's been able to do throughout his Ohio State career, and this year sharing a role with Quinshon Judkins, but still he just moved into number 6 all time at Ohio State. He's 100 and some yards from getting in the 5th all time, passing Tim Spencer. I mean, when you look at the totality of his career here at Ohio State, he's been fabulous.
And think about the fact that he missed chunks of seasons because of injury. Mm-hmm. What he could have been if not. I think he's playing the best in his career. I wrote a story about him last week, and he's thrived in this part-time role. He's embraced it. He and Quinshon Judkins get along very well. They see the benefits of sharing the load, and look, they're looking for the long-term future too, and for them to carry the ball 20, 25, 30 times a game in college is really not conducive to their long-term health in terms of football. And so I think that it takes special people to be able to do that, right? I mean, everyone wants to be the guy. And when the game is on the line, you want to be in there, and only one of them can be. Although they are, using both of them on the field at the same time a little bit more now.
Bill, I don't know much about their coach, but about 2 weeks ago, I voted him for National Coach of the Year. You're talking about a guy who's done a great job. You're talking about those transfer guys. Our guys transferred from Alabama, right. Ole Miss, Kansas State. Their quarterback transferred from Ohio University, didn't he? I mean, they don't probably have a lot of those transfers from big schools like we do, but I think their coach has done one great job, one of the better jobs I've seen in college football.
I think he's a lock for Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year, and with good reason. Yeah, like you said, they're getting guys from James Madison, which is a very good program, but it's a low-level Division I program. And O'Rourke's from Ohio University, and that's one of the big storylines of this game is, okay, Indiana's 10-0. They've blown out almost everybody, but they haven't played anybody even close to Ohio State's caliber. At some point, are they going to reach the point, the Jimmies and the Joes, right? It's the players in the end, and are they able to play with Ohio State's blue-chip players? I'm not saying they can or can't. That's what's fascinating about the game, but that's a huge storyline.
Bill, have you seen that what this Ohio State football team's been able to do based on what happened at Oregon, based on what happened in the beginning of the Penn State game, that they've learned to not let something going wrong snowball out of control?
This is a resilient team. They've had adversity in almost every game. Some of their games, obviously, they overmatched their opponents, but even Nebraska, obviously they did. They fell behind 10-0 to Penn State. They've had plenty of adversity. So I think that's going to serve them well in the long run. And that's one of the questions again about Indiana. They've not been in many close games, and Michigan was obviously a close game, but that's been the exception. And so what happens when, especially on the road for Indiana, can they match up with Ohio State? Look, this has been a great story, one of the great stories in recent Big Ten history. For Indiana to be 10-0 for the first time in school history. But there are a lot of skeptics about Indiana. And I've seen them play enough to know that they're legit. This is not some, imaginary kind of, what's the right word? Just kind of like a fake 10-0 team. They're good. But, again, they haven't played anybody like Ohio State.
5 penalties called in that last game, 3 on Ohio State. Should we just chalk a defensive pass interference up to David so that we knows it and just get it over with? Because it seems like it's inevitable.
Can they just wear the oven mitts during the game?
Really?
It's a blessing and a curse because his ultra aggressiveness is what makes him a good player. It's also what gets him in trouble. And finding that very fine line as a cornerback on an island that's a really tough thing to do. And one of the big questions I think for this game is that, can Igbinosun play under control and not get the penalties? And can Denzel Burke shake whatever is going on with him? Because obviously he had a terrible game against Oregon. He didn't have a great game against Northwestern. Teams are starting to pick on him. And he's a good player. He's had a great career. It's not like he suddenly lost it, and he's a confident player, so I don't think that's an issue. But he's been beaten, and so that's a real concern for Ohio State going into this game.
Bill, we were kind of talking here off the air earlier tonight, and you'd be a good person to ask this. Off the top of your head, can you think of an Ohio State team that's had 3 top 5 games in the regular season ever?
Yeah, no, I can't. First of all, because I don't think the Big Ten has that many. They generally haven't played. Well, I guess like Texas when they played 2005. I guess they might have been a top 5 team, but no, I can't recall. Certainly in the time that I've covered Ohio State, and when you look at the other Big Ten contenders, Ohio State's the only one that's played more than one. Oregon's played only Ohio State, Penn State's played only Ohio State, Indiana's played only Ohio State. They haven't played each other, and so that's why I think if people say can Ohio State lose another one and still make the playoff? Well, absolutely. I mean, Ohio State has a top 3 win. They have a 1-point loss to the number 1 team, and if they were to lose to Indiana, it'd be a top 5 team. So yeah, I think Ohio State's in no matter what. I mean, if they lost the last 2, that would be a different story, but that would be cataclysmic on a different level.
Yeah, it was Matt from 11 Warriors reached out to me and said it's not happened before.
Wow.
3 top 5 regular season matchups. So there you go. And
history.
Yeah, there you go. And Harvey was the invisible rabbit, Bill. Just so if that's what you were referring to, I don't know.
Okay. No, but it's always good. Harvey reference is always good.
I got you. I got one question for you,
Coach.
Can Indiana get in if they only lose to Ohio State?
Yes. I find it hard, unless they were just to get smoked. If it's 56-7 or something. I don't expect that to happen. I expect this to be a competitive game. But if they get blown out and it looks like they don't belong, then I think that's a real question. Then the fraud question comes up, and then it'd be a legitimate one. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Ohio State will win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's not like the normal.
There's a chance we'll get 4 teams in then. Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
Very good chance.
Yeah.
A very good chance. I mean, I'd be very surprised if they don't. I mean, here's the question about the Big Ten. Who's the 5th best team in the Big Ten?
Keep going. You got it.
We have 4. I have no idea who the 5th best team is.
Bill Rabinowitz, we always appreciate your time. You can check his work out at dispatch.com. Bill, we appreciate it, okay?
Always nice to be on, guys. Thank you.
All right, up next, we will wrap things up with some Chalk Talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offers a variety of options and pricing that will meet your needs. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour of Ohio Stadium today.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,500 towards a 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hey Columbus, looking for the perfect day trip? Head to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Dive into football history, see legendary players, and enjoy interactive exhibits. Fun for the whole family. Visit ProFootballHOF.com for tickets. The Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, where it's always football season.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum in Columbus preserves and shares the stories of our nation's veterans from all branches and all eras of service. With a gift of $20 or more, you can honor a veteran in your life by dedicating a flag in their name to be displayed on the museum's expansive grounds on Veterans Day weekend. Your gift will be matched, and your veteran's name will be shared on our website. Learn more at nationalvets.org.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home, and we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We're the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
The home of the Buckeyes, ESPN Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show. It has flown by this evening with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. Always a good night when Coach Cooper stops by to talk some Buckeye football with us. Buckeye Roundtable is proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $20 Buckeye Blitz bundle. Includes 2 Whoppers, a cheeseburger, 3 small fries, 3 small drinks, and a custom OSU crown. Only at Burger King, where you rule.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
All right, enough messing around. Ohio State, Indiana, Saturday at noon. Delivery of the game. Who must deliver for Ohio State to get the W on Saturday?
Defense, especially the line. Force Curtis Rourke at a bad decision. I'm sorry, did I?
You just read my mind again.
Sorry.
You wrote it too big. Besides the defense, Jim, who are you looking for?
I think the quarterback, he's got to step up and take care of the football. I mean, Will Howard's done great all year long, completing almost 80% of his passes, for the whole year. I think he's like at 73% right now, but got to have him go out and play another game. And then I'll throw a B in there, our running game, our running attack. We got to have Quinn Shawn and Travion Henderson and our offensive line control that line of scrimmage.
Coach Coop?
Quarterback. Your quarterback. The game, the quarterback, all you got to do is keep throwing it. Like he's throwing it, I think you'll see him running a little bit more than he has in past ball games. But the quarterback has got to continue to play good.
I'll throw one out for you, fellas, the fans. This is a game you need the fans to show up and be ready and make it,
one of my keys to the game.
Let them know you're there. Besides the wins, the biggest thing that has impressed you about Indiana has been what?
Oh, my goodness. Not just that they've won, but other than Michigan game, they've dominated. The way they've dominated opponents. And yes, you can pick apart their schedule, but they've dominated teams, one going away, and they've done it on both sides of the football.
I think the coaching job has been the most impressive thing for Indiana. Coach Signetti and his staff, he brought 6 assistants from James Madison. I think what they've installed there was confidence, and this team is playing very confident. They got 16 new starters, so, I mean, that's something to me that's been very impressive watching them all year long.
I'll tell you what I think of him. I've already told you I already voted him Coach of the Year, but you know what? He's got some good players. Some of those guys that transferred in here are a lot better than people think they were.
We know he's confident. His team's confident. His team's playing well, but this is new territory for them. I mean, the most important thing for Ohio State to do and to avoid against a team like that is what?
Probably to get off to a good start and try and take away some of their pride early. We saw what happened at Penn State when the Buckeyes got down and came from behind. Do that to Indiana. Get them doubting because, up to the Michigan State game, that was the first time they trailed in the game all year.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State down 10-0 against Penn State. There was a lot of doubt, among Ohio State fans. And that crowd
wasn't as crazy as people have said it's been in the past.
Next thing you know, it's 14-10, and, Ohio State was able to win that second half, too, to get away with that victory. But a fast start would be a blessing.
Indiana's schedule is what it is. Mike Tyson is still in the news with his fight on Friday night. Remember the old Nintendo Mike Tyson video game? I mean, this is like Indiana playing your way up to face through all the Joe Palookas and the Glass Jaws and everybody else to finally get to Ohio State. Well, now you're in the big ring with the big boys. Will they be glass-eyed on this stage where I will argue that those players, even though they're good, they've never been on a stage like this before?
No, they have not. Even those that had success at James Madison, no. And that's to your point, Skip. That's where you need the fans. And, hey, all these people have been moaning and complaining about 12 noon starts. Well, take a sleeping bag and pitch at 10.
Yeah, and look at, Indiana. They've had 3 road games so far. They played
UCLA.
At UCLA. They played at Northwestern.
In front of dozens of people.
They played in front of 12,000 at the Lake at Northwestern. Michigan State, they had 68,000 for that ball game.
But I think they housed them early.
They housed them early, so, we've seen that before. All the parking lights.
Yeah, out there eating chocolate cake.
Exactly. And then, this is going to be 105,000. And like you said, our fans are going to be the 12th man here, and we need them.
Don't make them better than they are.
Yeah.
Make them beat you on the field.
That's what we've been saying all along is just, need the fans to come out. We know how people feel about, especially the younger generation, about the noon starts, but still show up. This is a game where literally, you hear coaches say it, they could really use the crowd this weekend.
Absolutely, they could. And, such a rarity to have the regular season end with 2 straight home games. Yep.
Buckeyes in the NFL to take us home, Jim Lachey.
Well, how about J.K. Dobbins, man? The injuries that he's gone through, got released by the Ravens, didn't get re-signed, ended up signing with the Chargers and went out there and really has been playing well. Had the winning touchdown last night.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Bit impressive to see that. And
I thought he hurt himself diving in.
Exactly. And then tonight you're going to see the Texans versus the Cowboys. Cowboys have 2 Buckeyes, Malik Hooker and, of course, Zeke Elliott on that team. Texans, C.J. Stroud, Cade Stover, Tommy Togiai, Jeff Okudah, and then Xavier Johnson's on that on the practice squad. How about Xavier Johnson? What a great story.
Impressive.
Playing club football here at Ohio State, gets a scholarship, gets to wear the Blanco, and now playing pro football.
Amazing.
That's great to see that rise.
Fellas had a good time tonight. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for doing it.
Okay, Coach Cooper, after working out in the yard all day, just absolutely like a general out there. You look great. Thanks for coming down, Coach Cooper.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer, Bodie Wells, and for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mosic. As always, thank you for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.